This is my new 2003 Land Rover Discovery 2, and it's our new project.
See, I've always loved cars. Whether it was going to shows, go-karting as a kid, I just wanted to be around them whenever I could. Still to this day, I watch Mark McCann, Goon Squad, and Matt Armstrong religiously because I just love their passion for automotive vehicles. And this brings me to this video today, and is also the reason that we're picking up this 2003 Land Rover Discovery 2. A few months ago, I was doing one of my late night Facebook Marketplace scrolls, and yes, it's much better than TikTok. And I came across this Land Rover. I messaged the owner to see if he would move on price, and he was a little bit negotiable, and he said for me to come and take a look at the vehicle. So I drove 2 hours to go and see the vehicle, but unfortunately it just wasn't quite worth the money that I was willing to pay for something that would have had to have had a lot of work done to it. With that being said, the current owner of the vehicle was lovely, and I was able to get his contact details, and he'd let me know if anything changed. I didn't think anything of it after that. It just wasn't quite the vehicle for me. But 2 months later, he then hit me up on text and let me know some very important news. The vehicle hadn't sold and he was reducing the price. The deal now worked. I could buy the vehicle, do the work, and I could probably even sell it for triple what I paid. But I was still in two minds. I'd already moved on from the idea of picking up an old Discovery 2 and thought I wanted an LR3, one of the newer generation vehicles with a few more creature comforts that I thought would be the perfect first build for this channel. I went back and forth until...
Right, today's the day we get to pick up the Land Rover Discovery 2, and I'm super excited, as you can probably see on my face. So let's go grab some food, let's go pick up a big U-Haul truck, and then we can go pick up the Land Rover.
So there's a few steps to us picking up this vehicle, and this is going to be a theme that you're going to see in these first few videos. I don't have anything that I need to work on these cars. So this is the plan. Step one is we're going to go pick up a massive truck.
All right, here is step one of our trip, which is picking up the truck. We've got ourselves our 15-foot beast. Let's see how she runs. Oh, ho, ho. That's a truck right there. All right, let's load it up and let's get going. This thing feels absolutely gigantic. I feel like I can hear myself echoing in the cab. It doesn't actually drive that bad. It feels pretty smooth, pretty soft, and obviously you can feel it has the power, but the alignment, oh my God, this thing is unbelievably cooked for alignment. Let me try and get a straight bit of road and I'll show you guys what I mean. So this is me keeping it in a straight line. This is where it is when the wheels are pointing straight, but the wheel needs to be. Look at that. This thing is cockeyed as hell.
Step two, we're then going to pick up a trailer that is going to need a winch, and I'll explain why a little bit later on.
And this right here is step number 2 of the process of going and getting the Land Rover.
All right, while I finish off my Five Guys fries here, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the Land Rover because it does have an issue. So it runs and drives, but it does have an issue. It's throwing up the P420 code, which means that the right-hand side catalytic converter, it has 2, is throwing up some sort of issue and is clogging and choking the engine. So it doesn't currently have full power. Hence, I needed to get a trailer with a winch on it so that we could pull it up without having to do it on its own power. I think, and I have a theory, that I have a very simple and easy fix for this catalytic converter, but you'll see that in the next video of whether I'm actually successful with that or not, because that's when we'll be trying it. The rest of the history of this vehicle is pretty good. It was kept in really good condition by the owner, regular service history, which is very evident on the vehicle, and also the head gasket has been replaced about 5 years ago now, which is great. That's a common issue with these Land Rovers. Their head gaskets will go, and that can cause some pretty significant engine damage. So fingers crossed, she's all in good condition. I got an amazing deal on her, but I'm going to save that until the end of the video. So let's keep on with our trip. Let's get up there to go and collect the Land Rover, and hopefully she's in just as good condition as we think.
Also, before we set off, again, I just realized I haven't shown you guys how big this rig is. That's 15 feet and that's 18 feet. We're freaking long. But I must say, it's actually really not that bad at all. I thought it was going to be way worse. Obviously, you've got to be aware, and I'm like glued to the road, and the and driving, which I mean, you should be anyway, but it really isn't as bad as I thought. So not a bad setup, but I think maybe the next build or project that we have to do on the channel is going to be some sort of towing vehicle so that we can just pick up the trailer and have, you know, an F-250 or something pulling all of the vehicles. But yeah, not bad so far, but definitely one hell of an experience.
And then step 3 is we're going to drive 2 hours to go and pick up the Land Rover.
It's a drag race. Another U-Haul van versus us. We've got the trailer, so we're losing.
And so after the 2 hours of travel up there that felt like an absolute eternity, we had arrived. And boy, did she look good. After seeing it again, I fell in love with the vehicle all over again. The boxy look, the analog buttons, it's everything a true off-roader should be. But what I'm probably the most excited about is the potential that this vehicle has. This is a project that you and I are gonna build together. And I think it's the absolute perfect first project for this channel. So stay tuned for the next video when we dive into doing the first bit of work on this vehicle and getting it running, hopefully.